Good afternoon and welcome to another podcast from Cheat Code Fantasy Sports. Be sure to give us a like and subscribe to our page, and you can also find a link to our free Slack chat below. We're going to be discussing the main slate for Sunday, August 16th, and then we will get into Showdown as well. But let's go ahead and get started by taking a look at the pitchers for the slate tomorrow. Starting at the top, you have Max Scherzer at $10,800 on DraftKings. Was a little hesitant to use him last start because of his hamstring. Obviously, it was not a problem. He went 105 pitches, only 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, and 1 run allowed. Gets a matchup against the Orioles. They like to strike out a lot. And as you can see with Max, 28% strikeout rate over the last 7 days. And his DraftKings points average is 20.29. So probably one of the safer options that you have. Some people are going to be afraid to use him because of what happened to Corbin yesterday. But the Orioles are kind of a sneaky team against left-handed pitchers that a lot of people don't really realize. But they're not that way against right-handed pitching. So Max, probably your top option there. Next up, you have Zach Wheeler, and he's 9,900 going against the Mets. Let's take a look and see if there's anything to worry about here on his BVP here. Wheeler's just one of those guys I don't really particularly love to use, but I mean, not a whole lot to worry about there. It's just my thing is if I'm spending 9,900, I'm just going to spend 900 more and use Max. John Lester against the Brewers. The Brewers have just been looking lost at the plate right now, getting shut down by every pitcher. Yu Darvish had 11 strikeouts against them. I don't think Lester will do anything close to 11 strikeouts, but he's obviously another solid option there. Jed Jerko has 9 hits off of him. Ryan Braun has 9 hits, but nothing really. Yelich has 7 hits, so maybe I would avoid Lester. Lance McCullers, he's probably going to be popular. He had that no-hitter going most of the start last outing, and then everyone loves targeting Seattle. As you can see, in his last outing, he had 28 DraftKings points, but he only had 5 strikeouts in 7 innings of one-hit baseball. That's just not enough for me at 8,700. You're going to want more strikeouts. He just doesn't get enough strikeouts for me. Dakota Hudson, that's another one I'm probably going to skip over. Just unknown, with the Cardinals having to miss because of COVID and everything. And then Dallas Keuchel. The Cardinals, it kind of threw me by surprise playing the Showdown. I picked Giolito the first game thinking, the Cardinals have had time off. They're not going to be sharp. No, they went out and won both games. And Keuchel is just an average left-handed pitcher, so they shouldn't have a problem with him. But you never know. Randy Dobneck going against the Royals, and Odorizzi. Even though the BVP looks like he should have been dominated by the Royals, he shut him down. But Dobnak 7,900, I don't think I want to go there just because that's kind of a little pricey. I mean, you're looking at 16, 17, 20 DraftKings points. Again, not enough strikeouts. 3, 1, 4. Just not something I want to do there. Brady Singer he's looked pretty impressive. But again, he just faced the Twins. He did strike out 4, 15 points. You can use him, but I wouldn't expect. I don't like using pitchers in their very next start after they had just faced the team, because usually that they pick up on some of the tendencies of that pitcher. So I'm probably not going to go there either. Rick Porcello is just a guy that I never play. Some people might want to because they see 14 points, 22 points, but let's go ahead and check out his, see what his BVP is, but I don't think I'm going to want to use him. Yeah. Didi Gregorius, 2 home runs off of him. Rhys Hoskins, 2 home runs. Gene Segura has a home run. Jay Bruce, Bryce Harper. So I'm not going to try to risk anything there by using Porcello. Eliezer Hernandez, he's actually, he's been decent. Had a couple starts so far, 5 strikeouts in both starts. Fun fact is the Braves do strike out the most in baseball right now. And Acuna is on the DL, but can we get enough out of him? Let's see. Ozuna's 4 for 7, so Ozuna pretty much handles him. Freeman's 3 for 9, but everybody else just pedestrian numbers against him. So if you're willing to take that chance on Eliezer Hernandez, 6,600, that's a pretty decent price. Fulmer, you're not going to use because you don't want to use the opener. And then Alexander's the guy coming in after him. You don't want to use him. I think a lot of people chased his 10 strikeout game against the Reds, and then it blew up in their face when he faced the White Sox. And I expect something like that to happen again today, facing the Indians. John Means, he's decent, but he's either really good or really bad. So let's see if the Nationals hit him well, because the Nationals, they do a pretty good job against lefties, and there's not really much there. So Means, maybe, but probably not. Adam Plutko, he might be popular at 6,400. He only got 8 points last game, but that was against the Cubs. We know the Tigers are not going to be an offense that's going to be as potent as the Cubs, and they tend to strike out a lot. So I could see you going there. Lindblom is probably going to be popular. 3 straight games of double digits and 3 straight games of 5 or more strikeouts. But against the Cubs, I'm more inclined to not do that. Justice Sheffield, I just do not recommend going there at all. Yes, 29 DraftKings points, 4 hits allowed, no runs to the Rockies, but 4 runs in each of his other starts against the Athletics and the Angels. And the Astros are getting hot right now. And, the other night they put up 9 runs in the first inning before there was even 2 outs. They hit left-handers well. I don't see a need to risk it. And then Robbie Erling is making the start for the Braves. And it's probably not going to be, 2 innings. So he's not going to be even worth much of a look because he's only going to be going a couple of innings. So going over this pitching real quickly, it's obvious that Max is going to be chalk SP1 pitcher for cash or GPP just because of the very lack of options that there is on the slate. So then you have to decide if you're playing cash or you're playing GPP, do I want to pay up for both pitchers or do I want to pay down on one, take a chance on one of these other guys to get some better bats? So if you're not going to pay down on one of them, then it's probably going to be Lester and Max, right? So if you are going to pay down, then you could go either Eliezer or you could go Plutko. And that gives you a little bit more leeway for your bats. So let's take a look at any particular BVP that there is for the slate. And at the top, we have Chris Davis. Obviously, that's going to be one that we're not going to play. Yes, he has 10 hits off of Max, but he's had 32 at-bats against him. But Kyle Seager could be in play. Jerko that we already talked about. So there's not really a whole lot of BVP here. So I'm guessing the Astros are going to be popular going against Sheffield. So what are they priced about tomorrow? And they're actually fairly reasonable. You got some value there with Reddick at 3.7. And then Springer's 4.9, Altuve's 5.1, which Altuve hit down in the bottom of the order today. So it'll be interesting to see if that happens again, because if Gurriel and Alvarez are in the top 1 through 4 at 4.4, then that's a great price. Let's see. We don't have to worry about cores on the main slate, so that's a good thing. We have Soto is going to be a 5.4. Eaton is only 2.9, so he could be a cheap guy. I like to look at the Marlins, maybe, to get some value. Brinson, 2.6. Indians against Fulmer and Alexander. So Cesar Hernandez, Jose Ramirez, Francisco Lindor. They're obviously kind of expensive. Let's see. Cardinals are pretty cheap if you think they're gonna hit Keuchel. Wong is 3.5. Edman and Goldschmidt are 4.7, and then all these guys are in the 3 something range. So you could theoretically go and say you wanted to do Goldsmith, Edman, Carpenter, or Wong, and then see, Edman, Carpenter, and then O'Neill or Carlson. And then, see, you still have 4,200 even using, well, that's with Plutko. Let me change that to Lester. And then you have 3,300. One thing that I want to point out is for catcher, what I like to do is I just like to go find out who the cheapest one is that's starting. So like for tomorrow, you're looking at Sandy Leon at 2.3, Travis d'Arnaud at 2.5. Is that right? Oh my. Yeah, so that's probably my lock of the slate then, if Travis d'Arnaud's 2.5. He's been 4.6, 4.5, 4.8, and he's been mashing. 364 with 3 homers. So yeah, that's a value bet right there. Lock it in. Don't even play any other catcher. I mean, I don't know why that price is so cheap there. That surprises me. So Travis d'Arnaud, lock of the slate tomorrow. But that pretty much covers the main slate. Obviously, there's not a lot of pitching to pick from. You can get on our Slack chat for more information. We'll be providing, weather updates. We'll provide any other updates. Anything like the Travis d'Arnaud pick that comes our way in Slack, we'll provide it. So join the Slack below. It's free. Follow our website, cheatcodefantasysports.com, and give us a like and subscribe. Thank you for joining me.